Right, so it's been more than a week. Yeah, a bit happens, but it's all cool now. And I have a furry friend! His name's Carl, by the way. So, first things first, topic for the week, rule of thirds. So, initially when I thought rule of thirds and did a bit of research, I had a couple ideas, and for some reason all of them surrounded a basketball court. I do not know why. My first initial idea was I would have the rule of thirds lines on the screen, and in each square on the basketball court, it would be in a different time of day. But the more I thought about that, the more it kind of seemed a bit basic, and I thought I could do better and I could do more. After some reflection and after I've actually done the edit, I feel like my original idea that I just explained would have looked better, but it didn't really suit my page with what I was going for. This project actually has some significance to it because it is the first project where I use 3D modeling. And oh my god. So basically my idea was I was going to have a couple of me just shooting from side to side, and I was trying to get the trees in the basketball court and kind of me in line with all the rule of thirds. That's kind of the theme I was going for. It's not really clear, but you know, I got there in the end. So yeah, basically once I got the idea pat down, it was time to grab a basketball and head to the courts and shoot so many times.
James catches, puts up a three. Won't go. Rebound Bosch. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang!
So basically, once I finished shooting the basketball, I came home, gave up on my dream to play in the NBA, and put it all into After Effects. Gonna keep licking yourself? First thing that I had to do in After Effects was put the two clips together and have me shooting the basketballs at the same time, basically. This was actually the easiest part because all I had to do was just use masking layers and kind of just pay attention to where the ball was going. I was actually a bit lucky with these two takes because the basketballs never actually crossed paths, so that means the masking layer became a hell of a lot easier. So once I sorted the masking, I moved on to removing the sky so I could have a neat little background to, give it that flair that I was looking for. To do this, I used a small effect called color range. This actually is really simple and really easy to use, but you kind of still have to be a bit careful the way you use it. It actually got really tricky for me because when I was implanting it into the sky, it was removing the edge of the clouds, which were grey. And because my jumper was grey, the program got a bit confused and started removing me and my jumper rather than just the clouds in the sky. But speaking of backgrounds, let's move on to how I made the background. Segue! Doing this 3D modeling, it took me about 5 attempts and 3 different tutorials to get there, but I got there in the end. So my first attempt was going well. All the textures that I wanted were there, and all the nodes that I was trying to use were activating. But for some reason, my shape on my screen wasn't coming together. It was staying rectangular and square when it was supposed to be kind of circular and round and pretty much spherical. So there was one step in the tutorial that I think I missed, and it just wasn't working no matter what I did. So after I restarted the tutorial and restarted the project and the same thing happened, I decided to move on to a new tutorial. This one was actually working a lot better and I made it further through the galaxy design. But for some reason I sort of had like the reverse problem or the opposite problem with this one. It was going well, the shape was coming through and the nodes were working, but it got to one stage where the textures just stopped working and it became this weird yin-yang pattern when it was supposed to be, all squiggly and looking like a galaxy. It actually did look really cool, and I tried to attempt to make a yin-yang looking galaxy, but the more I worked on it, the further I got with it, the worse it kind of looked, and it just really wasn't working out. So I decided to simplify it and do something else. So instead, I decided to make a planet. This one worked really well. It was very simple and pretty much what I should have actually done for my first attempt at 3D modeling. All I had to do was create a sphere, get the textures on it, and then create some spinning movement. But that I didn't really work out. But once I completed the whole, planet shape and sort of space atmosphere, I did something that I really did not know I had in me. I actually animated it, created movement. I somehow managed to translate my knowledge from After Effects and keying and all that into Blender, and then it just kind of worked, and I couldn't believe it. So once I completed all of that, I just exported it and put it into After Effects. And now this was the final stage. I just added a simple adjustment layer, and I color graded the whole thing to give it, that junior for director feel. Then my final touch was to add a 3D camera and have it pan outwards, beginning at the planet and coming backwards to see the whole basketball court and everything in one frame. But anyway, enough rambling, here's how the post turned out. Looking back at it now, it's not really my proudest work or my best, but I did learn a valuable asset in 3D modeling, and I will try and give it a go again if it doesn't drive me nuts. But yeah, overall, I'm not proud of it, but I'm happy that I really did give something a go and try something new.